So I'd love to make the introduction. Sam and Marion, old friends of ours. We've known you now for 5 years. Yes, it's been 5 wonderful years. And you've been in Villas del Mar for 5 years, but you have a longer standing. In fact, Sam and I were talking about earlier, you've been here a lot longer than 5 years. So maybe we start where the journey starts, which was in Todos Santos. I mean, you've been coming a long time, and you're a surfer. I know you're an avid surfer. You're an avid outdoorsman. So Baja, I mean, tell us about Baja.
Well, growing up in San Diego, the 5th generation San Diegan, family was running down here for 4 of those 5 generations. So I used to come down here with my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother.
Wow.
But that was up in northern Baja. So,
like Ensenada? I mean, where?
Rosarito, Tijuana, Rosarito, Ensenada, south of Ensenada. I started surfing northern Baja in 1977, I believe.
Long time ago.
And started running down here, driving to the tip in the 90s.
So how many trips do you think that you've made back and forth from here to San Diego?
Right off the top of my head, probably at least 20, if not 30.
Well, you're a veteran.
Been doing
so
it for
how
a while.
is the drive? Because people, I mean, one of the first questions I always get is it safe? And when people contemplate the idea of driving 1,000 miles through an unpopulated area, that's their biggest concern. So maybe you can speak to security.
It's very safe.
Yeah.
It's a 2-lane road, 1 lane south and 1 lane north. So you have to be on your A game and be sharp at the wheel all the way down. But it's a very comfortable drive. It's a beautiful drive. It's very desolate. There's not much traffic at all. Every once in a while you run across the 18-wheelers that run up and down supplying the southern Baja. But other than that, it's quite safe, and there's beautiful stops along the way. Depending on how much time you want to spend at the wheel, you can split the drive up into 4 to 6 stops easily along the way. Catavina is always a nice stop. Guerrero Negro is a place to spend the night, have a nice meal, get a basic room, and wake up the next morning, push all the way down to, say, San Ignacio. And then from there you can push down to Loreto, and then from Loreto you can go all the way down to here.
Yeah.
So it's a very comfortable drive to take many times.
Yeah, but you've driven it in 2 days before.
Yeah, you can drive it fast or you can drive it slow.
That's pretty brutal. I mean, we drove it, and I recommend people don't drive at night. I mean, drive only during the day. Make the stops that you make it enjoyable, because it's a pleasure to see the different landscape all the way down.
Yeah, you can take a week, you can take 2 weeks, however you want to do it.
Well, we loved it, but that's not why we're here today. We're sitting on this beautiful yacht, which you've just acquired.
Yes.
And so you've added, this is a new thing for you in the Baja. I know you're avid boaters in Seattle, but I mean, this is a new acquisition. This is an extension of your life here, and you piloted from San Diego to Baja. And so that's really what I wanted to talk to you about, is the adventure. I mean, Captain Ahab coming down the west coast of the Baja. So
yeah, it was quite an adventure.
I imagine so.
It was a lot more planning involved than I thought, and provisioning the boat and getting the boat set up to run it down here was probably the hardest part, and just logistics to make it all happen. And once we got underway, then it was then the fun really started.
So tell me the most exciting thing that happened between here and there, and how many days did it take, and were you going round the clock?
Yes, we were. We left Ensenada about 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and we ran all the way down to Isla Cedros and then down to Bahia Tortugas, which is a halfway point of the Baja, for our first fuel stop. And we ran nonstop for probably 34 hours. We did 2-hour shifts after 9 p.m. There's 3 gentlemen on board. Myself, my uncle,
right,
and Captain Mitch Keeler out of San Diego. We
you
hired
had a
a
lot of
captain.
experience.
Yes, yes. My uncle has been a sailor all his life, and I've been.
That's the kind of people you want to do it with.
Yes, yes. But I think the most interesting part of the whole trip was that the second stretch on day 3 in the middle of the night. Of course, it's the farthest point we are away from land, in the middle of nowhere, out in the Pacific Ocean. The autopilot goes out at 3:20 in the morning. We have.
So is there an alarm that goes off, or how do you know this?
Just when the boat swings to the seas, beam on, and then you start getting slapped by the 6 to 8 foot swells coming from the 20-knot winds, that wakes you up quickly. Drawers start to open and close. Bang, bang.
That's pretty tense.
Yes, so that was interesting. I mean, all of a sudden everything just shut down, and me and the captain were sleeping. My uncle was on watch. So we blamed everything on him because he happened to be on watch.
Good
even though
plan.
It wasn't his fault. But it was just a glitch. The autopilot just went out. We ran up topsides and tried to find the moon, found the moon, readjusted our point south, worked the problem, turned all the systems off, turned everything back on, autopilot.
The old-fashioned way, like Christopher Columbus.
That's right.
The sextant. He was. That was the only
Thank
thing
God
they
there
were
was a
missing.
moon, or it would have been ugly. Because trying to just go by the compass reading was a bit difficult with those winds and seas.
I'm sure.
That was the most interesting part of the trip, to say the least. The most
But you
exciting.
fished. You fished on the way down.
Yes, we did. We trolled on the way down, put a couple nice big Dorado on board for some fresh meals on the way south. That was the first leg of the trip. Second leg of the trip, we had a lot of wind, so we couldn't really fish. So
You were paying attention.
yes, but the navigating part was actually pretty easy when all the systems worked, which was 99.9%.
Technology's
of the
amazing,
time.
right?
Yes. And the navigation part was actually easier than I anticipated. Because I'm used to running these Garmin systems up in the islands, and the work we do cruising around up there when I'm on the charts. I was comfortable running down here.
But you must have been glad when you saw the arch. I saw a picture of when the sun was coming up, and you felt like you had made it home.
Yeah, on day
Perfect
5.
timing.
Day 5 at 6 in the morning, we show up at the arch, and it's before the mosquito fleet's coming out to go fishing. So we had it all to ourselves. It was beautiful.
It's a special moment.
I woke my uncle up, let the captain sleep. He's been delivering boats down here for 30 years, so it's nothing
Wasn't
new
anything
to
special
him.
to him.
Exactly.
It sure was to you.
So me and my uncle were on board and watched the sun come up, hanging out, cruising around the arch on the Pacific side and the Sea of Cortez side. Had it all to ourselves for about 45 minutes. That was pretty special.
Yeah.
That's when I had a cold beer at 6:45 in the morning.
Felt like you got there. A true sailor. Yeah.
Yeah, it tasted really good at 6:45 that morning after a 5-day run down the Pacific.
So flash forward, you're here in Puerto Los Cabos. Maybe we can talk about the marina, how much you like the marina. How does it compare to, you've seen a lot of marinas. How does it compare to other marinas?
Marion?
Oh, it's just like I said, neat and clean. It's incredible. It's very impressive that we're in Mexico on such a wonderful, awesome marina that's so put together.
Very professionally
I
managed.
was very surprised. Very surprised.
Everybody that's come to see this, that is familiar with other marinas in the world,
I wasn't
always,
expecting.
that's their takeaway, is that they're blown away by the
Yeah.
quality of the marina, how well it's run,
Quality is the right
operated.
word.
Yes.
No,
So
it's beautiful.
you are not alone. We have now new owners, boat owners. I think we have 7 or 8 homeowners now that we're all crowded around these docks together. And so it's a new experience for you in Cabo. So you've been taking advantage of it. Maybe you want to talk about your trip up north. You've just
Yeah, that was
recently
great.
taken a trip up. I'll let you tell the story, La Paz.
Yeah.